Strategic research management with Elsevier. Is there a role for libraries? I would say the question mark, or one of the aims of the presentation, should be to delete the question mark and exchange it with an exclamation mark. And the statement should be, there is a role for libraries. Because I think libraries can play an important role in strategic research management. And if you want to join me, I will take you on a journey on this research management, what has happened in the past years, and what might be the future as well for libraries. Current state is that there is a lot of change in research, in science, in universities. If you would have asked research administrators, librarians, researchers 10, 15 years ago, I'm pretty sure that most of the commands or the quotes of really important things like collaboration, benchmarking, performance, measuring, impact would not have been stated. This is a request for attendees of a research administrator event in the United States, but I'm pretty sure all around the world it is the same. So, as mentioned, I would like to take you on a journey into the vast universe of science, with a nice phrase from Star Trek, to boldly go where never a man has gone before. Elsevier, as a publisher, escorted and fostered the scientific process since some 100 years. One of the most important books Elsevier published is the book from Galileo Galilei. And pretty soon after books, journals came into place as well. So Elsevier published journals, just an example, Lancet from 1823 on. And pretty soon, just after a few hundred years, Elsevier put them on the web with Science Direct. I'm sure you all know about it. In 2004, Scopus came to birth. And pretty soon, just within a few years, Scopus grew to become the largest abstracts and indexing database of research information. Approximately 19,000 titles from more than 5,000 international publishers are covered, and a lot of international renowned institutions are using Scopus data from Germany, IFQ, the KIST in Germany, Jülich as well. So a lot of really renowned institutions use that data. But what became obvious in the past years is that not only the information in the abstracts of Scopus are relevant, so who writes an article, what is the topic, what are the keywords, the title, just to find information is, I would not say less important, but other things are coming up, and that means not only just the information who writes the article, but the information, where does he come from? Who are his collaborators? Who is citing this article, or how often it is cited? And you see this is from, I think, September this year, so approximately 30,000 citations for just one article. But not only the information how often it is cited, but the information who is citing you. Who is having an impact, or on whom your work is having an impact. So these information dots or connection dots became much more important than in previous years. So what did Elsevier do? We observed these trends, and we implement and used new, innovative, sophisticated methodologies like fingerprinting, where you mine the text, identify the underlying concepts, and create a document fingerprint where you just can say, okay, what is the actual work you're working on? Not just with keywords, but with the underlying concepts that can be easily identified and used to find relevant researchers who are working just on the area you deserve or you need. We integrate network analysis. Who is citing you, with whom you're citing, with whom you're collaborating, co-citation analysis. So a lot of interesting analytical approaches that can be used with these kind of data within Scopus. Elsevier put them all under a brand, SciVal, so a new star is born, what we call SciVal Science Value. And just a few examples what you can do with these kind of strategic research management tools. What is possible? You can highlight where are competencies of countries or institutions or even individual researchers. Just an example, comparison between Austria, the UK, Germany, and Switzerland. And I will not go into details, but it is clearly seeable, obvious that Austria and Switzerland are really focusing on math and physics. That is on the upper right corner of the circle, whereas in the UK there is a focus on social sciences and medicine, and Germany, as a traditional research country, we are pretty strong in every field, but there is a small focus in brain research, health sciences, computer science, and chemistry. So one can easily compare different countries or institutions. What is your research strengths? Where are you good? Where are your competencies? Or you go a level deeper, not on institutions or countries, just on individuals and research groups. So you can create what-if scenarios for cross-disciplinary research with comparing researchers or aggregating researchers into research groups and then see, okay, how is this research group performing against others, against institutional benchmarks, for example. Is this particular research group better or worse than the rest of the institution or other institutions? Define your own reference fields. Are you working in chemistry or just in an organic chemistry, or even drill down into these research areas to see what is possible? How good are you? That you do not compare apples with peas, which is quite often the case when you compare a mathematics researcher with a chemistry or medicine researcher. It's not possible. You cannot compare them because they have different publication types, publication behavior, and citation behavior. So with the traditional benchmarks or indicators, you cannot work simply. You can check the international network. Are there preferences in the individual work of researchers or research groups? Do they prefer to work with Asia or with the United States, and even go into detail and check with which institutions they are working together? And thus, with the complete publication output or just a selection of documents from individual researchers and research groups. Check the institutional network. Your institution is working with how many institutions in other countries? Just an example from a not existing institution, just for showcasing. You see, you have one institution in Kazakhstan where this fictitious university in Germany is working, but you have 10 institutions in Finland. Dive into details. Go really into the data and see what are the institutions in Germany or in other countries with whom you are working at. This fictitious university in Germany is working with the University of Munich, with the Ludwig Maximilians University in Munich, with around 58 authors. The TU has 48 authors, and so on. Who are the authors with whom you are collaborating? Or where are possibilities for new collaborations? Which institutions worldwide, which universities worldwide are working in the same competence areas as you, and to have the same research strengths, but you're not collaborating at all with them? find new options, new possibilities. And once you find an individual researcher, check what he's doing. Just an example from a researcher from the United States. He's working in renal circulation on rats, on the kidney with angiotensin II. So a lot of not only keywords, like they state in their own articles, it's really the underlying concept. It's really what they are wanting to say, even if they do not state the correct keyword or the correct phrase. That's achieved by fingerprint technology, a kind of text mining. You can see what is his institutional network or individual network. Who are the co-authors with whom he's collaborating and how much. The thicker the line, the more collaborations are. And what are his trends? Did he work, for example, on angiotensin II in 1999, it should be, or 2000? But you see in 2004, 2010, it is to a much lesser degree on that particular research field. So he changed his research agenda during his research, which is not unusual, but you're now able to track that, to see that really. Find funding opportunities. Look into funding details, into funding opportunities. Which opportunity will match best to this particular research or to this particular piece of research? So identify the concepts which are inherent in his articles or his research agenda, and then see which funding opportunities do match best and can he apply for it. International. Or without any tools, really analyzing data, which is in Scopus, but not only in Scopus. What are international trends and collaboration? You see in 1996 until 2000, Germany, United Kingdom, France are more or less the powerhouses in Germany. These are just the EU 27 countries. These are the powerhouses in research in Europe, which is not unusual. You would have expected that. But if you check the data from 2004 to 2008, you see it's much more connected. All over the countries are now collaborations, and other players are now in the field, whereas, for example, Austria is really isolated and working in the previous time frame only with Germany. It's now connected with Germany, Luxembourg, France, Italy, and so on. So the connections between different countries are much more important and are still growing. Analyze countries by key indicators. So if you see just relative key indicators, just output. One good example is China. China has a huge amount of researchers and a huge amount of articles. China is now on the edge of overrunning the United States in terms of prolific output of articles. But they are publishing really a lot. But if you see what is the output per researcher, China is getting really a small dot on the landscape. They are publishing a lot, but they have a lot of researchers. If it comes to individual output per researcher, then other countries and the more traditional powerhouses like Germany and the United States and the UK are really, really leading. But coming back to the initial questions, where are the libraries? Some of the libraries are hiding behind the earth. An excuse to this, to my colleagues from the Technical University of Delft. It's really a nice, really a beautiful building, but somewhere hiding in the earth, and sometimes that mirrors what I recognize from libraries. Libraries in past times were connected with faculties, with students, with researchers. They have one reporting line to the university administration maybe, but they are more or less isolated. Nowadays, libraries need to work together with faculty, researchers, students, with research administration, with IT, with the external community, with the university board, and they need to play an important role, which is sometimes not working. But there are really successful examples of libraries which they managed. One example is the University of Stellenbosch, where the library was able to place themselves really in the center of this intricately woven web. They are really asked whenever any question is asked in the university, whether it's from research office, from IT, whether from the university board, students, researchers, faculty, always they go to the library and ask. So they managed to be really successful, to be really in the center of this web. How did they manage? They work together, they cooperate, and they cooperate not only internally within the university, but as well externally. They work with suppliers, where they have stated their deepest needs. What do they need in help, in assistance, in education, what else? And that is, sorry for the quite crowded slide, but this is a project we did in the UK, Snowball. Oh, it's not correct, not we did it, but the higher education institutions in the United States worked together with a lot of suppliers, including us, to create metrics. And that means metrics that can be used for benchmarking on institutional level, on international level, on national level, what else? And the main point is not this above, but the main point is here. These Snowball metrics are global standards that enable cross-institutional benchmarking. They are defined and agreed by higher education institutions themselves and not imposed by institutions or other organizations with distinct aims. So it's not coming from Elsevier or from Times Higher Education or from the funding councils or what else. It's really coming from within the institutions. And that is a role library can very good play because they know about information. They are information specialists. They know about data, what is included, what can be used. And just again, this is an example. These indicators from Snowball aspire to cover the entire spectrum of research activities in support of institutional decision-making. So it's not only how many articles did an author publish, how often is he cited. It's really enterprise activities, it's postgraduate education, it's research grants, so it's including everything. It's really a multidimensional matrix which worked pretty good and which is about to be rolled out in October this year. Another point where libraries can play an important role is current research information systems. In Germany, Forschungsinformationssysteme, like Atira, like Pure, like Converus from Avedas, Symplectic in the UK market. These are tools which aim to mirror the complete research-related activities of a university, including finance and HR data. And as well, there can libraries play really an important role. As a library, showcase your success. You are information specialists. You are data providers for the universities. What does that mean, showcase your success? You have really a return of investment. Showcase it to the university board to increase maybe your budget. A study from the University College London, together with the Research Information Network, revealed that in terms of article download, so what is read or at least downloaded from your researchers from the library, 1 million downloads, this is just the percentages, so 1 million downloads, as everything is equalized, normalized to this. If you increase the downloads by doubling, you will increase the PhD awards and the research papers, so the output of your university, by almost tripling. And the research grants and contracts income, so the money that comes in the university, is approximately 4 times higher. So really showcase that to the university board or to your stakeholders, that you are able to increase the efficiency and the output of your universities just by providing access to journals and to articles. Another example is a study made by Carol Tenopir. It's really in terms of money, return of investment. Income as a proportion of the amount invested in an asset. That is the definition, or one definition, of return on investment. In terms of a library, that means the faculty or the library. The faculty generates the income for the institution. They get research grants. The faculty uses the library and its collections. So what is the return on investment in terms of library? How much money did the university gain from your library budget? And Carol Tenopir revealed in her study that for each dollar invested in the library, there is a return of investment of 4.38 in grants income. So every dollar you spend in the library will be 4 times higher, and you will get back 4 times higher. That is information you can showcase to your board, to your stakeholders. And if it worked really well, there is a new star in this universe, and that is you. If you're lucky, you just have to wait. So thank you for your attention.